Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Brought to you by Photography is an Art. Harvey Brandman, Master Photography, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's newly released publication, 5150, The Book. It's the story of Irwin as a young Marine who served 13 months in South Vietnam. And author Larry Buford's Books of the Future, Time Travel Message in a Capsule, now available in paperback for only $17.95. And from our newest sponsor, State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Our guest today is a man who has had many lives. He was an actor, he was a rock singer, he was a songwriter, and now he has returned to acting with recent projects Cargo, Chicks Man, and the recently completed Gina. And now, ladies and gentlemen, direct from Louisville, Kentucky, please welcome Ron Thompson. Welcome, Ron.
Hey,
welcome,
buddy.
welcome. Great to have you here. I went over your resume to get ready for the show. You have had quite a life, my friend.
Yeah,
Wow. You have a gray hair or two. You've earned every one of
I
them.
think. Stayed out of jail, too.
You stayed out of jail?
Yeah.
Whew, that takes a lot. That takes a lot. Ron, when you were a young man, you say that wrong. You got my name. I love that. Oh, God. When you were a young man, excuse me, the Thompson family left Louisville and relocated to Miami, Florida, where you spent your formative years. And then at the age of 13, you saw a movie. Roll it there, Tony.
Here we go. On the water.
If I was wise, I wouldn't be no longshoreman for 30 years.
What's his racket?
His racket.
Yeah, his racket. Everybody's got a racket.
You think I'm just a gravy train rider with a turned-around collar?
One thing you gotta understand, Father, on the dock, we've always been D&D.
What's that?
Deaf and dumb.
I don't know nothing.
You haven't heard the questions yet.
I want to know who killed my brother!
You know, if I spill my life ain't worth a nickel. And how much is your soul worth if you don't?
All I want to know is he D&D or is he a canary?
Wow, look at that. That movie.
Yeah,
Took you back, didn't it?
sure did, buddy. I never saw anybody like Marlon Brando before, and I never saw a movie like that. I mean, the movie itself was just fantastic, brilliant. I mean, even the extras are good. But Brando, I walked out of that movie, I was like 13, I guess, 13 or 14, and I was always interested in performing and all that, but I knew then that I really wanted to be an actor, and hope that I could somehow or other be half the actor that he is. And I was lucky enough in junior high and high school, they had theater programs, and so we did a lot of plays. And the teachers, they didn't know anything about acting, but I did the plays and I taught myself. I would, after I'd do the play, then I would figure out what I did wrong and better, and went to a lot of movies and went to everything that Brando did, and read a lot. And by the time I graduated, I felt pretty confident that I could give it a shot.
Wow.
Yeah, and at 19 years old, I left.
With $200 in your pocket.
$200. Well, this was 1960. $200 might be $2,000 today,
Yes.
maybe. But still, it ain't a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even $2,000 to go to New York, and you don't know anybody, it's still not a lot of money.
Right.
And but I went there and didn't know a soul, and I loved every second of it. Every second of the struggle. I lived in a room.
In what city, sir?
Manhattan, 76th Street.
All right.
I could touch both walls with my hand, and the bathroom was in the hall. And I think I was paying like $11 a week or something. And it was fine for me. I was so happy, you know. Yeah.
Well, you know, they called the city so nice, they named it twice the city so pretty.
Yes.
They call it New York City.
Yes, sir.
The Big Apple.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. I'm born and raised there myself, and I used to love those frankfurters, as I call them, hot dogs, and all the good things.
Did you go down to Times Square and
we lived on Times Square.
And get 2 francs for 25 cents?
25 cents.
25 cents, folks.
Back in the day, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't make it like that anymore.
Times Square before it became Disneyland, you know.
Wow. Well, after a couple of years there in New York City getting yourself right, you ended up on a show called the Armstrong Circle Theater.
I did indeed. Live television. There was no tape. It was all live. You rehearsed for a week, and you did it. You did it, and that was my first acting job.
Wow.
A professional acting job.
Right.
Yeah. And at the same time, the very same time, I had started a recording career.
Wow. How did you balance those two?
Well, the recording career, I met a guy named Ursel Hickey.
Can you show that picture of Mr. Hickey for us? This gentleman that had a lot to do with you. He's on there about number. There he is.
There he is.
There he is. No, not him.
Yeah, yeah.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah.
That is an iconic photograph right there.
Right.
They have used that picture to represent rock and roll. And movies and Rolling Stone had a book out about 20 years ago, and he was on the cover of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and anyway, he had a hit record in the late 50s called Bluebird Over the Mountain.
Okay.
Rockabilly singer, and he wrote a lot of songs for other people. And we met, and he's a very interesting guy. And he took a liking to me and he showed me how to write songs, and he introduced me. At that time, it was called Tin Pan Alley. You remember Tin Pan Alley? Was the Brill Building.
Yes.
That was the Brill Building.
Yes.
And, you know, he got me over there, and I met everybody, you know. Used to stand out in front of the Brill Building and see Jackie Wilson get out of a limo in a cashmere trench coat, man, looking cool, baby.
By the way, just so you'll know, Jackie Wilson was selected for a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He will get it June the 9th of next year. How do I know? Because I was the one who was the sponsor for the star.
Fantastic.
I'm happy to see. It took us 10 years to get it, though, but he's going to get it.
Fantastic.
Great.
Great singer.
Yes.
And performer.
Michael Jackson loved him. That's how he got his style.
Oh, yeah. He was it, man, you know. And so anyway, I met different people, and I had 2 records out, and they were good, but no promotion. It wasn't a hit. And at the same time, I'm trying to get my acting career going, and I met a woman who was an agent. She saw me someplace, and she handled kids mainly. And I was 21, and I looked about 18 or 19, and she didn't have anybody like me, so she took me on, and the first audition she sent me on, I got it. I got it. And I did the Armstrong, and then I did another Armstrong about a month later. And Marty Sheen was the lead in that, and we became friends. And I had a lot of starts and then nothing.
Gotcha.
You know.
Got you.
You know, a lot of things.
Happens that way, doesn't it, in this business?
Because of the recording career and the acting, I got a movie that was shot that I played a rock singer and I sang 3 songs in it, and it was shot in what was at that time Dubrovnik, Yugoslavia. There is no Dubrovnik anymore, but it was shot there, and I starred in a movie with Hugh Griffith. You know who Hugh Griffith is?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, you know, he was a British
Yes.
star,
Mm-hmm.
and the movie was never released. It was not really very good, but I sang 3 songs in it. That was all right, and I see you have that's the songs from the movie there. Brown Eye
Okay,
Evil,
would you go ahead and run it for us there, young man?
Brown Eye Evil
Yes.
Eye.
Here we go.
Brown eye, evil eye, why must you do or die? No man can be a ship at sea alone, alone, alone. You cannot turn the tide, despite your family pride. Brown eye, evil eye, hear what the prophets say. Without love near, is life so dear? You run, and know not where you go. Like
Okay. that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
You were singing. You were good.
yeah. I can't, but I came to New York to be an actor.
Got you.
That's what I wanted to do, you know. And the recording career, I didn't like the recording business itself, you know. And like I said, I had 2 records, and they were very good, and nothing happened. And about like 2 years after I started in 1964. 4 guys came into town called the Beatles.
Beatles. Oh, yes.
And the Beatles completely changed the music business.
Yes, they did.
Totally.
Totally.
Fun. They were only interested in self-contained bands. If you were a single artist, you had to be really successful.
Yes.
Tony Orlando, back when I was recording, he had a couple of hit records at that time. He had a record called Halfway to Paradise and Bless You that Carole King had written. And so he was doing all right. The second the Beatles came in, he wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
And he got himself a job in a publishing company.
Wow.
Okay, and a demo record came across his desk, and he looked at it and he said, "I can do that." And he got a couple of girls, and he did "Tie a Yellow Ribbon," and so his thing started all over again. But
Tony Orlando.
yeah, but I
Yes.
just kind of I wanted to be an actor. I didn't really. I was doing the I can sing, but I was doing it just to get over. You know, I was a kid. I was just a kid, you know, and I was a.
Were you making money?
No, I never made any money.
Got you.
I mean, really, you know, I did a lot of TV and stuff. I never really. There was a period of time of 10 or 15 years that I could be self-contained. You know what I mean? I had an apartment, I had a car, I could go out to have dinner every now and then, but I was not rich. I've never been rich, you know. People, and anyway, what were we talking? Oh, and then I got to L.A. Oh, we didn't talk about No Place.
Right, you had right, No Place, and you
Yeah,
also had
that was my real break. That was when things
Right.
finally started to happen
Got
for
you.
me. You know,
Got you.
was 1969.
69.
Charles Gordon.
Charles,
He
got a
wrote-
picture of Charles there, Gordon. And you mean that
That's
guy right
him.
there, that handsome young man right there?
That's him. He wrote
Thank you.
a play called No Place to Be Somebody.
Yes.
It won the Pulitzer Prize,
Right.
the Drama Critics Award, the
Right.
Obie Award,
Yes.
the Theater Award, It was a fantastic production, and it was 1969, an interracial cast.
Yes.
And it was groundbreaking. It was really groundbreaking.
Well, Ron, please pat yourself on the back because you started a character in that movie by the name of Shanty Mulligan.
I did.
You
yeah.
showed it. In fact, let's take a look at Shanty Mulligan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. That was you beating on them drums and just having a
Yeah.
good time.
I played a character that talked all the way through the play about. I was the bartender in this saloon, and I talked about how I was one time this great jazz drummer, and the woman in the scene, Marge Elliott, she was my girlfriend, and she bought me some drums, and I had told Johnny, the man who I was talking to, played by Nathan George, the greatest actor I ever worked with, ever. And I've worked with some Academy Award-winning actors. He was great. He passed away last year. And I told him when I got the drums, I was going to quit him flat, go for that. Well, I bring them drums in, and I can't play for nothing, for nothing. But I'm crazy. I'm nuts, you know, and I tell the woman, you know, take the drums back. I say, you wanted me to mess it up, and I showed you, you know. And it was quite a scene. And Charles Gordon, I met Charles Gordon. This was all, show you how things happen. I did Armstrong Circle Theater in '62, and I met on there was a man named Willis Pinkett, a black man who was in one of the shows, the second show I did. And he was quite a bit older than me, but he really liked me. And he took me to a bar in the village called the Rib. And at that bar, I met Julius Harris. You know who Julius Harris is?
Sounds familiar.
Well, Julius did a lot of movies. He's a big man, and he did, well, a lot of movies. And anyway, but he wasn't famous then. And I met Charles Gordon there. And 7 years later, he has this play. And we rehearsed it. First, we rehearsed it in a condemned building basement. There was water on the floor and stuff. We rehearsed it there, and we did a backers audition at the Sheridan Square Playhouse for 2 nights. People loved it. The play was like 4 hours long at the time. And they walk out and they say, "Oh, that's great." And, "Oh, that's too long." And we went another year. Chuck cut an hour out of it. So it was only 3 hours. And
1 hour.
and Joe Papp bought it.
Joe Papp, okay.
Joe Papp, and that's where we did it at Joe Papp's, and then later we did it at the Promenade Theater. I did it in New York for a year and a half, and then I traveled on the road with it for a year. We did it here.
Right.
At what was at that time called the Huntington Hartford Theater.
Okay.
And solidified me as an actor, you know. 2.5 years doing that part, you know, and people got some pretty nice reviews. People seem to like it, the reviewers, you know.
3 hours now.
3 hours, and people loved it.
Wow. No intermission?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was
Had me worried there for a minute.
It was a 3-act play.
Yeah, okay.
3-act play. Oh
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Ron, you know, I had a chance to listen to some of the music as I was going through for my research for this show. And by the way, folks, you'll notice that we're sitting in what appears to be a new set. The reason that we had the set changed was because we knew Ron Thompson was coming in today. So Tony, who's our boss over here, he surprised all of us today. We walk in the door and bam, there's this brand new set.
Right.
You know, it looks great. Write us a letter and let us know what do you think about the set. We'll be more than happy to find out. Send it to Tony Sweet is his name. Tony Sweet. All right, Tony. Thank you. But as like I said, I was going through all this research.
Yeah.
Man, you was kicking it with the music.
Yeah.
What didn't you play? I won't say what did you play. What didn't you play?
I didn't play any instruments at all.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I just sang. I wrote the songs that I didn't write what you heard there. That was for the movie, but I wrote my songs.
God blessed you with a great voice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed.
Yeah, yeah. I just wasn't interested.
Right.
You know, I was. You know, and then when I did a play also after when I finally came back to L.A. There was a tiger wear a necktie, and I did it. Margaret Avery, you know Margaret.
Oh yes, very well. Yes.
Well, Margaret had a theater in the early '70s, and we did the play together. Margaret was in it, and our old buddy David McKnight.
Yes.
He understudied one of the roles. He went on a couple of times. David was in the group. Ted Lange was in the group. Marley Gibbs.
Marley Gibbs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Ted directed a production of Medea, and Marley was in that. But Margaret and I both won the Drama Critics Circle Award.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then that really got me going with TV and film.
Yes.
I started working on that.
Yeah. Like Mannix. You came back. You did Mannix.
Yeah, that was one of my first really good roles. But let me tell you, a true Ron Thompson's deal. Mannix, which was one of the best, which was a really good role that I had, was on opposite the premiere of the movie Sound of Music.
Oh God.
Nobody saw it, man.
I guess not.
Nobody saw my show. Period. You know, the director. I talked to the director. And he told me. He said, "Nobody's going to see this show, but your mother." He says, because it's on opposite Sound of Music, you know, and it got so low ratings that it was never played again.
Well, you did some other movies. You did The Gun. You did The Streets of San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
You did Beretta.
Beretta, I was a reoccurring character on Beretta. Yeah, I did about 7 episodes of that.
Wow, 7 episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
The Rebels.
Yeah, that was a bicentennial series. A lady named Sue Booker. Do you know who Sue Booker?
I know. Heard her name going through. I've seen her on IMDb.
I'd like to find her. You know, I'd like to say hello to her.
If you go up on IMDb,
I can't find her anywhere.
okay. Have you called SAG?
Anybody knows Sue Booker? Let me know, because I really like. Really nice woman, and she had seen me in. This was a show in which, as I said, it was bicentennial, and every week was a different revolutionary character, and they were interviewed by, like yourself, a guy interviewing. I played Thoreau, Henry David Thoreau, and Lou Gossett was in it, and different people. But every week it was a different character. And she had seen me in No Place and Tiger, and I didn't audition for it. She just wrote my agent and said, would he do that? You know, and it was good, you know. It was a character I usually wasn't cast in. I usually cast more street characters and all, but that was good.
Well, in 1981, you had several dual roles of guys by the name of Tony and Pete.
I did.
In a movie that changed your life. And so right now, we just want to take a break for just a moment. We can come back, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
When we return again, we'll talk about it. This movie, again, what you did called American Pop.
Indeed.
And so this is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio of Harvey Bandman Photography and Art is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package. Now, this is valued at $300 or more. Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of you, his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad that you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on the Actor's Choice. 5150, the book. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. As a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chulai, the Republic of Vietnam, and his experience where nearly 3 million Americans went to war was, as he puts it, and he's a good friend, 5150. The book is currently available in paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. And Irwin says he'll give you 20% off on net book sales, split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Okay? A Lady in Waiting. Oh, forgot to say my good man. How could I miss my good friend Larry Buford? Thank you. Thank you. Larry, where are you? You're in here someplace. There you go. Found Larry. Book to the Future. Time Travel. Message in a Capsule. In a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon. That's Amazon. Please get your copy today. Now here we go. A word from State Farm agent Carla Green. Roll it, sir.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them, but a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
A Lady in Waiting. It's a new play written by Sherry Payne and directed by Don B. Welsh. Now, it's a story of love, redemption, and forgiveness. Starring Tyus Welsh, Carl Gilead, Rich Rail, Nicola Pettis, and Loren Elliott. A Lady in Waiting, Sunday, August 26th at 5 p.m. at the Barnsdale Gallery Theater, located at 4800 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood 90027, and parking is free. All seats are $35. That's A Lady in Waiting. Get your tickets today, and we'll see you all on Sunday, okay? And finally, if you have a product, a service, or upcoming event that you'd like to see advertisers on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Now, please note, our prices are very affordable. Thank you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Our guest today, veteran actor Ron Thompson. Okay, Ron, just before the break, we mentioned a movie that you performed, not one, but two characters, two roles, Tony and Pete, in 1981. Sir, would you please tell our audience what was the name of that movie?
That was American Pop, Ralph Bakshi's film, and American Pop. It's animated, but it's done through a process called rotoscope.
Yes.
The actors shot the film on a sound stage, costumes, very minimal props. If we had to go through a door, there was a door, but there was no wall. And they shot the entire movie in black and white, and it was edited. Now, movies have 24 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
Frame is like a picture. Every frame of that picture was blown up into a photograph. Now this goes back to when we actually had live animators, not computers. And that animator took the photograph, traced the actor, and then drew the background in.
Right.
What you get is not just the actor's voice, but an accurate tracing of the actor's physical and emotional performance.
Okay.
The movie is about 5 generations of a family of musicians, and it's a pretty in-depth story. And I play the lead character, Tony, who comes in the middle of the movie, like the 50s. And then I take over his son, who becomes a rock star, Pete, at the end of the movie. And I'm very proud of the movie. The movie was quite brilliant, and it was two of my best performances, and it was, at the time, as brilliant as the movie was, it was promoted badly.
Okay.
There was a lot of music in it: Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Seger, and the trailers, they promoted it with all this music. The kids saw it and thought it was like an MTV video.
I see.
The night that it opened, they were at the Grauman's. They were literally lined up around to Franklin Avenue.
Wow.
To see this movie. And I don't think they dug it because they were not ready to see this story. They wanted to see it. And the people that would have liked the movie stayed away because they thought it was just a bunch of noise. And so it was at the time a bomb. And because of the animation, Columbia Pictures at the time, today, if an actor just does a voice in a movie, it's a big deal.
Oh, yes.
They didn't want anybody to know about our doing this movie and being traced. They didn't want anybody. This was back in '81, and they thought it would take away from Ralph's animation. So I was just a voice. That's all. And nobody knew, and since it was animation, it was traced, but they didn't realize, people didn't know it was me, right? They would think that the artist is just really good.
Right.
You know, and so I was invisible. My performance was like nothing, you know. And my career kind of lumped along for the next 20 years or so.
Okay.
And I did a few things. I did American Me and a few things, but it wasn't happening anymore. And after everything I had done, it just wasn't happening. And in '98, my wife divorced me, and my career divorced me.
Okay. Can you hold that thought for just a second?
Yeah.
Because I want to show people American pop.
Yeah, okay.
And, okay, can you roll that, Tony? We'll come.
Yeah. Okay, well, I just wanted to, there I am, that's me, that's Tony, and I can tell you a little story about that, and that's me, and that's me. That's Muse. And that's me too. That's when I play Pete.
All right. That was
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
That's for the time frame concerning what we got, because that what Disney, Walt was doing his thing. That was pretty good. That,
It was.
and what did you say was the style? They call that kind of style?
Rotoscope.
Rotoscope.
They use it today in computers.
Okay.
Like Avatar
Avatar. Okay.
was rotoscoped, but they're using it's much different.
Much different. Wow.
How they're doing
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing too, because at the box office these days, when you see an animated movie, they generally make more money at the box office than a standard feature film.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And this is a brilliant movie. A brilliant movie.
Yeah. Brian Gabb was in it.
Huh?
Brian Gabb was in it.
Yeah, I wasn't too bad. There was a lot of good actors in it.
Gotcha.
Hugh Small, she was the girl in there, and Rick Singer. And,
You were
you saw-
talking about going through a divorce. You see.
yeah, so
Sorry.
I was very depressed.
Yeah.
You know, after everything that I had done, I just hardly could get any acting jobs at all.
Wow.
Nothing. And I wasn't going out on anything, and maybe have an audition every 5 months, and
Right.
then I wasn't getting it, and then my marriage dissolved, and I was just really in a deep depression. And for the first time in my adult life, I just stopped. I just stopped acting. I didn't want an agent. I didn't feel like I wanted to look for an acting, and I hadn't had a job since 1969. You know, I hadn't. When I say that, I'm talking a job. I'm not talking acting.
Right.
Acting's not a job. Acting's what I would do for free. But don't listen to that if you're a producer. But that's why we have unions,
Yes.
because actors will do it for nothing.
Yes.
Anyway, what was I? Oh, so I just was doing minimum wage stuff to stay alive, because back in the back of my mind, I knew that someday I might go back into it. So I wasn't looking for another career. I had a career, but I just stopped, and I was just doing very minimum wage jobs, working with people that, if they had dreams, they lost them.
Gotcha.
I was working with people with no dreams, just very happy that they were doing their $10 an hour job. And interesting enough, I think that this was like a 15-year time span that I was totally invisible.
Wow.
I was not an actor.
Wow.
And I was just doing these jobs, and I think it made me stronger.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine named Bud Reeves, he gave me an old computer of his, because I didn't have no money for no computer. I didn't have money for anything. I was just living from day to day $10 an hour jobs and stuff. And then another friend of mine taught me how to get on Facebook. That's when it happened. My whole life turned around. Wow. Within a week, I got people from all over the world, contacted me. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this. American pop had become a cult classic because of Cinemax was showing it like every 3 months. And in 1999, they finally released the DVDs and the videos. So finally, the people that didn't see it at first were seeing it and loving it. And people contacted me, and they understood what rotoscoping was. They knew what I had done. Some people said, we've been looking for you for years, trying to find you, you know. Suddenly,
Facebook.
Yeah, you know, I had given up on my acting and everything. I was just invisible. Suddenly, I had all these fans, people telling me, and 2 of my fans were young filmmakers. And they put me back in show business again.
All right.
One guy, a young fella, brilliant young man named Joe Black, he has written and directed me in 5 movies. 2 of them will be out probably the end of the year or the first of the year on pay-per-view.
Okay.
James Dillon wrote a movie called Cargo, and that movie will be released in November 13th. DVDs, we have a distributor and everything, DVDs and pay-per-view, and it's a really good film. I'm very proud of that.
Okay. Roll it, Tony. We brought it along with us.
Who the hell are you?
You've been kidnapped, trapped. You've got air for 24 hours. If you contact any authorities, you die.
What do you want?
$10 million.
1 body part, 1 million. Have a seat, Mr. Peterson. We've been doing our homework on
They
you.
got this whole place hooked up like a torture chamber.
They look organized, well-armed. Tell me what you want us to do.
Payback. Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Thompson is back. He's back.
I'm back. Thank God.
And don't leave. Don't leave, no go.
No, I'm here. I'm here this time,
All
and
right.
it's an interesting movie. My character is kidnapped and held hostage in a cargo container. All I have is a cell phone to come up with $10 million in 24 hours. Okay. I'm the only actor on screen for 80 minutes. There are other actors, but they are people that are talking to me on the phone. So, you know, this old face is on there for 80 minutes, you know.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, and anybody in the Portland, there's people in Portland, Oregon, right? Will be watching this. If you're in Portland, Oregon, there's going to be a one-night only special screening of Cargo at the Clinton Street Theater, August the 31st at 9 p.m. And, you know, a chance to see it on the big screen.
Will you be there?
No, I won't be there.
Okay.
We did have one in Beverly Hills about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was there for that one. Yeah. And
what was the reception like?
People seem to like it.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
People seem to like it. Yeah. It's really nice to see it on the big screen, you know, because it'll just be like right now it's just going to be DVDs and pay-per-view, you know. But who knows? Who knows? It might end up in the theaters. You know?
Yes. It's amazing. It's amazing. Every time I look at the weekend box office, this week you had an all-Asian movie.
Yeah.
$25 million they made at the box office.
Did it make that much?
Yeah,
really?
25
No
million.
kidding.
Amazing, the things that go on again. That's why I love doing this show and working around you guys and ladies. I love it, love it. Can you talk for just briefly about 2 other projects that you have on the burner, Gina and Chicks Man?
Now that's Joe Black's films.
Okay.
He's he's a 29-year-old genius.
Okay.
And one of my best friends.
Okay.
And I've done 5 movies for him.
Right.
And actually, the 2 movies Chicks Man, I just finished. That. And I don't know what we're going to do with that. I think they're going to try to get it with the festivals. It's a really he made Chicks Man for $1,700. Wow. He wrote it, directed it, he acts in it, he did the camera work, he edited it, he did the whole thing, man. You know, his hero is Cassavetes, and he, you know, and we did that. Jenna, I think Jenna is going to be in is going to be one of them that's going to be released on pay-per-view, and Lowtown also.
Okay.
As I said, I've done 5. There's one that I did for him, Hate Horses.
Hate Horses, okay.
And
interesting
and
title.
Lowtown and Jenna and gee, I've done 5 of them. I can't remember all of them. Chicks Man.
We got just a few moments. I just want to get you.
There's a poster of Chicks Man.
Chicks Man, okay. Okay, thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Look at that.
Little handsome young man there.
Yeah.
Still looking good.
Yeah. And that's quite a poster.
Yes, it is. You said that you have something. I just want to get you in. You said that you have something you'd like me to ask you. May I like to say something you want to say?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. This isn't political. This is moral. This is we need to save our democracy. Vote. Vote blue. Resist. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow. It's amazing the things that's been happening in recent times. And thank you very, very much. Quick question. How do you want to be remembered?
Well, of course, I'd like to be remembered as a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be remembered as an activist, somebody that you know, I was around in New York. We were talking about growing up in Florida, the 40s and 50s, when there was Jim Crow, and everything was segregated. At 5 years old, I knew that wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right, and but nobody else around me did. And I didn't meet a lot of black people when I was in Florida because they were there, they were over here, and we were over here.
Yes.
And I remember when I first got out of high school, I had a job delivering for a dental place. And my job, I went to a black dentist. You know, I didn't even no such a thing at that time. You know, here's a man who is a dentist, you know, and because in Florida, you know, and I remember a woman opened the door, and it was Lena Horne, man.
Wow. Isn't it amazing? I hate to quit you, but we got to go. The clock on the wall says we got to go.
We got to go.
Man, don't pay no overtime. We got to get out of here. Special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's 5150 The Book, Larry Buford, Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green. Much thanks to our guest,
Thank
Ron
you, partner.
Thompson. Thank you very, very much, and best wishes to you, and goodbye to all our good friends. Thank you.
Peace.